Watching that Deadlock 2 Fight Night. Let's see how. Watching that Deadlock 2 Fight Night. What is that coming from? That's Twitch. Trying to make sure all my titles got updated. They did not. Here we go.
You know, we have Get Gooped merch, but I swear we're not rigging the matches to make the goo ball look good. That is just Zanya bringing the heat for Pajala Escambria. Jason, we talked a lot about, we won't go super in-depth once more.
I haven't seen this guy in a long time.
Lord, that was incredible play, showing just how good support can be here in Deadlock.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the cubes multiple times saved teammates heavy-handedly. Not to mention like the little goo fists as well, able to like help people escape, help create some distance as well between his like teammates and others. I also do have to bring this up because I don't know if we've mentioned it, and I don't think most people out there in chat know. Zergy's a trackball player. And I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. There's only like one other professional player I've ever seen in any esport play trackball, and that was in League of Legends by a player named Kerp, who played top lane. Like,
yo, playing trackball in a
I really want to see his
wild.
hand, because what you don't realize with trackball players, obviously you have to use your thumb a ton. The muscle here is ridiculous. He's got like a six-pack, I think, on his thumb. Like, it's crazy, man. But to have that, you know, ZDK, you were talking a ton about aim last week, right? You were saying like Overwatch players. You talked to multiple.
What kind of trackball does he use? I wonder.
Overwatch players have the best aim, but trackball, huh?
Yeah, there's no data on trackball. I have no idea. Like you say, like no one ever uses trackball. In Quake, there was like one player. This is like, I'm talking about like the 2005 to 2010 period. There was like one player even back then that used a trackball, and back then you can make more of an argument for it because there's not as like many amazing peripherals. But hey, if it works, it works.
I'll just say, I had a player on an old Tribes 2 team going way back in the day that used trackball, and times have not changed. He got memed relentlessly back then as anyone does now. Like, trackball players have always been a persecuted group in gaming. We just wonder, we wonder how they exist. It's hard to understand.
I just worry, like, how many of these extra mice does he have? Because you're not gonna find trackball mice that easy anymore. If you imagine you go to a LAN event and your mouse breaks, you ain't getting that replaced really quickly. So I don't know.
It's like Smash players hoarding CRT monitors, knowing that a day will come that the CRTs will be gone. They're not made anymore.
The old 64 controllers as well.
No. Well, we have the bans coming in here, Dan, and Mirage taken off the table early, so not going to be first picked. Wraith also just is dead in EU because it'll never get past the ban phase, apparently.
Yeah,
I mean, Mirage sucks, but
last time
he must be a lot better at high-tier player and team play.
Now you've had the data.
I guess he can rotate super quick, and he has a group AoE.
In the previous match.
You know, that's interesting because, like, Wraith and Mirage's abilities are kind of the same. Wraith's ult and Mirage's lift up, they have, like, a similar duration.
Are we going to get a Viscus, a Warden? Like, these are, like, key picks that help PS win the previous match.
Bro, you got 2 picks. Yamato, Viscus, boom. Easy. But give me that 8-head alien lady.
Paradox.
Jason's entirely
Paradox
right.
and Yamato picks make sense. Yamato's so broken right now.
We want Warden, but no, we don't live in that world. It's going to be Viscus comes in. Most obvious 1-2 pick that you're going to have. Jason called it, and yeah, this is a tough start, I think, for buff enjoyers, where you've secured the Paradox from Mikhail, but now you have to deal with the Zanya Viscus again. And we'll see what they pick here. I do think they probably grab the Warden in this round of picks, unless they undervalue it. Usually be D-Mob that's playing it, but Dan, I think that's the road we're going to.
Well, at least buff enjoyers were able to seal away the Warden, and I think that's going to be really helpful because it really felt like as soon as Warden came online, obviously I guess there should be an asterisk because it's hard decky playing Warden, and hard decky just takes anything to a godlike level, it appears. But with that said, still, the utility of Warden with the last stand in fights, if you're able to play Warden well, that controls the movement really effectively. So it's very hard to deal with that, and so at least buff enjoyers don't have to worry about that dynamic, because again, to me, it felt like Warden was shutting down their team fight synergies.
I was hoping, and I'm still hoping, to not see Abrams picked up for buff enjoyers here too. I mean, Listic, I know he's a phenomenal Abrams player, but I feel like the fact that you have Viscus on the other team makes it a lot more difficult to play it successfully. And that last match was extremely rough for him. But on the other side, I mean, there's still a lot of different.
I'm
choices.
interested to
You
see
mentioned
how they
Pocket,
play the 7
as a
in
third
team
pick,
fights.
Fortaleza Cumbria would
Like,
be
are they going to
like,
use him
like,
for
deep, but I guess
denying
kinda have
areas?
that
Are they
Buff
going to
and
use
Joy's
him
out
to
of the
soak
Warden,
up
but maybe the
tons of
7 is the
farm
interesting choice
quickly?
here out of Buff and Joy's ZP.
Yeah. 7,
Or
at the
is
very
it his
least, it's a
stun?
from Pajala Escambria, where it would either be going the Sunset or it would be going the Hardeki. I think it probably would be an immediate pick for Hardeki. I think in overall history, it's Hardeki's most.
Do they just do
hero.
one ban, or do they do
Yes,
another
to the
ban
new
before the
Warden,
end?
which is now,
Oh, Lady
Hardeki's
Geist
new best
play?
friend. But
Nice.
in a sense, if you think about taking away comfort heroes, from
Lady
the
Geist
side,
can delete
you've got rid of
Yamato
the
late
7
when she
Warden,
gets her
which Hardeki's
silence.
very competent in, and now this kind of brings you to, do you see Hardeki Shiv, perhaps? Maybe you do.
Man,
but I think
Yamato,
it's a
Viscous,
valuable
Pocket?
overall pick
That's a
than the
tough
2 heroes
lineup,
in
but
Hardeki
Ward and
pool that they
Paradox,
just
Lady
remove
Geist, tough
as an
too.
option.
Ivy,
I
we'll
was
see,
gonna
probably playing a
mention
support.
the Ivy Kelvin battle, because it feels like we're about at that spot. Again, Ivy does get picked up by PS. PS used Ivy extremely well in the previous game, and when they had it in the game before that as well. Like again, it just works super well for them around the urns, especially, and just synergizing off of Viscous is key. Just keeping Ivy safe in like key moments. It's just there's so much synergy already building on PS. For buff enjoyers, though, I have a lot more confidence now that they've got the Paradox and the Warden online. But they are lacking maybe another.
Let's go.
Like support.
I want an Infernus bad, but I know they're not going to pick an Infernus. You don't really see it in, you know.
Sorry, Kelvin last.
He's a good carry, but there's so many other options for carries too, you know, and better options.
I mean, she was such a strong.
But I'd love to see it.
Out of most teams, obviously we see her a lot when it comes to NA compared to EU. But we do see Vindicta being picked up by buff enjoyers, and again,
the only real group utility in a team fight he would have is well, he can spread Hillbane pretty easily, but also his group stun is, you know, a good initiator. Shiv, oh god,
There it is. I was mentioning
they're going real
in
brawly.
Hardeki's pool that we've seen recently, and the answer is Shiv. I actually think now, if you reframe looking at the draft and what was prioritized, going with the Warden 7 back-to-back for buff enjoyers was really, really smart. Because even though I think Hardeki is a fine Shiv, I think when you look at the overall power of Shiv as a hero right now, and the ways that things can just go wrong if you don't get enough early game farm, that you have now put Hardeki in a rougher situation relative to either of those two heroes. So the buff enjoyer
Abrams.
Hardeki
There we go.
back-to-back seems really good to me, Dan.
What's the last? So they only ban
I
one
think
character.
I'm feeling a lot more confident with what we're seeing because of like everything that we said already, and just well, okay. I have to give you the floor here, Jason, because you already made a very emotional appeal to buff enjoyers to not go for the Abrams, and we're seeing it. So I want to hand it to you instead.
I mean, I still feel like it can work. I mean, you obviously can't queue
Infernus,
right?
yes.
So there's a good chance that Listic should be able to get some of these charges through. And I think there are some like pretty decent targets. Like if you can catch a pocket before you can briefcase, you can potentially turn that into a kill. Yamato as well, just to create space for your backline. If you can hit a charge onto her, it can help with that. Same with Infernus. If you want to do the sacrifice play, you know, carrying the nuclear missile out to outer space to save your team. So I think it can work, and it does obviously help create space for the backline with the Ward and with the Geist and the Abrams for sure. I was looking over to my side, I was checking my database, and just a quick note here, as I mentioned Hardeki before having the highest kill per minute in EU, his Shiv play, so sorry, let me roll it back. He's at 0.26 overall kills per minute. His Shiv is at 0.39, like an insane difference in how impactful and how many kills he's been able to pick up. And to be fair to him, he's got 3 wins, 2 losses on it. So it's not like he's had 5 wins, and of course he's gonna have a high amount of kills per minute. He's lost on this, and he still puts up huge numbers.
To be fair, Jason, anytime you look at the kills per minute on Shiv of all heroes, there's like an asterisk of
That's
also
fair.
X amount of these are kill steals, where just the nature of killing blow. I mean, look, obviously you're still getting the kills, it's important.
Kitty cat,
You know,
what's
Shiv
up?
kind of puts his thumb on the scales a little bit.
You say steal, I say secure.
Well, speaking of secure, we are securing our way into game. We're not there yet, though, Jason. So any final thoughts that you want to see as we get into it?
Give us a map 3 buff enjoyers. I believe in it. We had it for the first time last week. We had it EU and NA.
Let's
have it
go,
back
get in the
to back.
game.
Well, you heard it. I think, Dan, we both agree with that sentiment very much. And this is going to be interesting because buff enjoyers, I feel like they made some big changes in the draft. They, like we talked about, they went to weaken Hardeki. They're still going to have to deal with the Viscous, but their frontline game, much more substantial
Okay.
here now that they have the Warden on their side. The give Listic
Infernus
a
is
bit of
going down the solo lane against 7.
Yeah, and another point I'll mention as well is we saw the Infernus come really late in for buff enjoyers, and I think that's in part because they had to have something that would just absolutely wreck the Vindicta, because obviously Infernus is a great counter. You can just get the dots up on the Vindicta as she's flying around, and it can be very hard for her to stay safe. So I definitely like right now the comp from buff enjoyers a lot more. And
I really want to know if
they didn't actually select like a pure support actually. So there's a question: who's going to get the rescue beam potentially? Is anybody who's going to get the health nova, etc.
Ooh, nice.
Really fair point. It's going to be kind of support by committee, and I would guess when it comes to rescue beam, it might not even be a thing. But also, Method in the Madness stand, they got the paradox.
Okay, so he went stun first, so he doesn't have his orb.
We're facing a paradox where
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh,
Ooh, Vindicta.
Absolutely
That
mauled by
shredded that Yamato. Oh, she's dead.
Off the rotation, it doesn't get away.
Yeah.
Well, from downtown comes the Geist.
Yeah, very nice. It actually feels a lot harder to dodge those spirit bombs than it used to. The soul bombs. I always forget what they're called for some reason, but
in my head,
to dodge than it used to be.
I'm good with the names, but in my head, it's just Geist Bomb. Is yeah, that's how it's gone. But also, take a look here, Listic. Looking for a better start than last time, and you know, being paired with the Paradox in lane, not the worst. Definitely a scarier lane composition, just because of the fact that you have Abrams last hitting and pressure with charge into how Paradox can set that up with the carbine.
Yeah, a lot of action early on here. You know, in terms of
Oh, Infernus is pushing up to 7, halfway.
I would say that Europe tends to be a little bit more passive compared with NA. NA is a region that is often very active in the early lanes. And we had, I think, on lane 4, a lot of action there. Just it's supposed to be a solo lane, but there's been multiple heroes there, and we get once again
Vindicta
is crossing between the duo and the solo lane. And is it going to be a kill here? Coming the way of Taz off of the pocket. It's close.
Oh, got away.
Unable though. The jump pad is saving Obi Kim. Oh my God, he was so low.
15 HP on the zipline, off the zipline. A little bit of paranoia, wondering, am I still being chased? Better safe than sorry, I suppose. But you look here at lane 3, PS trying to take advantage, get a little bit more pressure onto the tower. Solo lanes right now, relatively safe and secure. Nothing too crazy going down here as you look at the Yamato versus Geist lane.
What time is it?
The rotation
6:13.
in and underway. Taz moving over on the pocket, and Dimov again going to be on alert.
I don't like this UI at the top of the screen. It's so ugly.
And you look at this, just a barrage, just sliding across.
Okay, 7's dead. Oh, no, never mind. Shit.
Okay. All right.
I didn't notice the Infernus was solo.
Perhaps didn't expect Zaggy to be so deep. I'm not sure exactly, but hey.
Dan, that was an honest 1v1 too. There was no rotation involved there. That was just good old-fashioned fist to the face.
Oh, haha, Warden.
Just the old 1-2 on the Sharik. Coming in from Taz, who has been very effective on the roaming pocket so far. You talk about going to different lanes and getting a soul lead. Taz is at 3.5k, Dan.
Damn, he is at 3.5k. What the fuck?
Yeah, and that's on the pocket as well. So, you know, previously Taz was doing.
Oh, because he's rotating to the solo lane.
The paradox, and obviously pocket. If Taz is able to continue this lead, that's going to be very scary on the pocket. Going in for more pressure with the barrage. Dimov doesn't have too much to respond.
Great rotations.
Really safe. So. You know, really just Taz is gifting the lane 2 together.
Dimov must be tired, Dan. This is the second game in a row where Dimov has had to deal with Taz's very on point double lane strategy, and it's just Dimov having to survive in very difficult circumstances.
I never get that many drops when I break those orbs.
See if it's a case here once more.
Okay, Infernus rotated.
Okay, well, we're going in here.
Okay.
The dive coming through with Flame. Dash, and
now he's got to go back to his lane.
Pressure on this lane for Pugilized Scumbria, although Together's going to go down on lane 4 as all
Infernus rotations are kind of tough without Flame Dash. Like, look at all that damage that 7's able to get off.
Pretty soon. Yeah, the deter it ever so slightly, but that Guardian's going down. Like,
it's like, yeah, it's gone. Wow. It's tough. Infernus rotations are kind of slow.
where it's at. I don't think either team
That's
will
why,
see
like,
it as a huge advantage if it goes late.
I like to rotate on
First,
Infernus, but
and
it definitely isn't
like, there's
something
ups and downsides
that,
for both as the game progresses. Maybe
that I
get
do
more than
when
this just
when I
because
don't
of
have Flame
being able
Dash.
to get out of control, but
And it's like,
this
oh,
feels
well, you
like
could
a
use
game
Flame
that,
Dash in the
whether it
lane
be
to actually
early,
do more
late, or
damage
mid,
and
is
stuff.
relatively well
Yeah,
balanced,
and so
which
that's a
you
challenge
don't
too. It's
always
like,
get.
you know, like he used his Flame Dash not to rotate, but to do damage, which is it's better
Definitely
for
sets
that.
it up for an exciting matchup.
You
And
know?
I think